Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our Montessori Mondays live with Holly. I am so excited to be coming live to you guys today. I have not been live in our group for over a month now. So I am so excited to see who pops on to say hi. Let me know if you're watching on the replay, #replay. I am coming to you live from my caravan. If you don't know, my family and I are traveling around Australia in our caravan. And so from now on until I'm not sure when, I will be coming to you live in our caravan. So say hi if you're here. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And I am so excited to be talking to you guys about 3 of the must-have items that you can have in your home for Montessori up to the age of 3, and even some of them go longer than that, right? That are really inexpensive and that every Montessori home should have. So don't worry, I'm not going to go out and tell you to buy all the things or spend a fortune on a whole bunch of stuff. These items can be purchased for like $20 or less. So make sure that you are watching if you are just getting ready to set up your Montessori space, or if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're like, where do I start? This is the perfect place to start. Also, when I finish up telling you my 3 must-have items for any Montessori home, I'm going to tell you how you can win a full scholarship to our membership, the Montessori Learning Center. I'm so excited to be telling you guys how you can win a full scholarship for this. So it's a huge way to bring more Montessori into your home. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Judy. Thank you guys for joining. So let me know, again, if you're here, let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'm going to quickly make sure that this live video is in our group announcements. Let me see here. Thank you for your patience. Let me know, you guys, if you are here live. Let me know, are you guys in the process of creating a Montessori home, or have you already kind of started creating your Montessori home and you're just upkeeping, right? Okay, Mark Tez announcement. I would love to know where you guys are, where you're at in your Montessori journey as far as home setup goes. Hi from Chicago. Hello. Excited to see you here. Now, one of the first things that I want to mention is Liz. I was wondering if it was you, Liz. Okay. If you haven't been live with me before, there is a little link above in the text here where you can get the link to add your name for StreamYard, and this is just going to allow me to see your name when your comments come through, because I'm going live through a streaming service. Okay, so let's get into it. So the very first item that I always suggest that people get, especially when they're just getting started with Montessori in their home. I see a couple upkeeping. Okay, yes. So when you're very first getting started, this is going to be huge for you, is that eye level shelf. So the reason that Montessori uses the eye level shelf is for the fact that we are building independence in our children, right? So this is the huge goal behind Montessori. One of them, is independence, and being able to reach all of their materials from the age of 3 months to the age of 3 years and beyond is going to be huge for helping your child become independent in your home. If they have to constantly ask you to open a playroom door to get access to all their toys, or if they have to constantly ask you to reach certain items, this is all going to be hindering the independence that you might be wanting to instill in your child. And giving them that eye level shelf is going to help the independence, right? So they don't have to ask permission because they can reach it all on their own. A lot of the times, especially when we have the infant age or the younger ones, where they're still learning to walk and learning to stand, the shelf also becomes part of their movement experience as well. So having that eye level shelf is my #1 must-have. And that is kind of the reasoning behind why it's so important to have in a Montessori home and why it shouldn't be looked over. However, you do not have to go out and buy a $300, $500 Montessori shelf. You can actually just purchase a coffee table or one of those Kmart cubes or Target cubes that are like $20, right? Because those are eye level. And for our infants, we can actually just use a shoe rack, right? Because that has that low, like almost on the floor level rack. And so that's going to be where their eye level is. They're crawling, right? So that's their eye level. So that's the reasoning behind my first must have. Let me know in the comments, do you guys have that particular item already in your home? If you're upkeeping, you probably already have that. Judy's saying, I'm a nanny granny for my 1-year-old grandson and just starting Montessori at home. That is so exciting. Honestly, Judy, we have so many grandparents jumping on board with Montessori, and I'm so happy to see that you are here learning more about how you can do that in your home. I love, love, love seeing that. All right, so let me know in the comments, do you have your low shelf? I'm going to go on to our must-have item number 2. This one isn't quite as common. Yes, somebody's saying, I'm guessing that might be Liz because she's giving me the wink face. Yes. Liz is already in the Montessori Learning Center, so she's also had some education behind Montessori, so she knows a few things. Yay, using shoe shelves. Yes, Judy, absolutely. And Verenia is saying, sorry, I'm late. Don't worry at all. I'm just going to quickly open this door. And okay, so let's go on to number 2. So number 2 is our mirror. So this also is going to be an eye level mirror. So if your child is laying flat on their back, if they're an infant for the majority of their time right now, then you want that mirror placed horizontally on the wall next to where their movement area is going to be. So you can have a rug, a towel, a mat, like a foam mat, some space in your home for your infant that they have this the same visual every day, right? This is their movement mat. It's going to help them understand that this is when they're going to be doing their playing and their work, right? Their work. Play is the work of the child. So having that mirror there, especially at an infant age, is huge because that is their work, right? They're using their eyesight and they're trying to see their body, see how their body moves. When they're doing tummy time and pushing up, that is a really good help for them to see what they're doing in the mirror. And then as your child grows older, you can move the mirror. So once they get past that crawling stage, you can move the mirror up. So maybe you move it up the wall, but you keep it horizontal. And you could put a pull-up bar, or you could just put a shelf underneath of it. So they're learning how to pull up and stand now, and they're looking at that mirror, right? So again, they're watching how their body works in the mirror. And once your child has completed that process and really kind of gets the hang of walking and all of that, and they're not looking at that mirror in the same way, you can move the mirror vertically so that your child can see themselves fully for things like getting dressed, or even just playing with certain materials can be very interesting for them to have that mirror at the eye level. And this is something that's easily overlooked. When you walk into any normal house, you see mirrors in the bathroom or high up where the adult can see themselves. But it's rare that you would have an eye level mirror for the child, and it's such an important thing for helping them develop a perception of their body. Okay. Judy is saying eye level shelves. Yes. And mirror. Yes, exactly. Let me know. Do you guys already have eye level mirror in your home for your child? This is really, really helpful when you move that mirror into maybe the area for sleep, when your child is starting to dress themselves, for them to be able to see what it looks like to put on their pants or put on their shirt. It really helps their brain develop an idea of how their body works. Okay, so let's go on to tip number 3 here. Your must-have item number 3, I should say. And this is going to be a dedicated workspace. So as I mentioned, for the infant, this is just going to be a mat or a rug. But as your child gets older, you may want to incorporate a table and chair, Or you could also just use a rug. This is what we had both in our home. When I had one child, and she was 3 when I had her brother. So for the time that I had one child, we had the work table and chair, and this worked great. She loved taking her materials off of her shelf and going over and playing in the same area on her table. But as soon as I had 2 children, the table became too small and there wasn't enough room to put 2 chairs at it for 2 children to work at it. So I had a choice. I needed to either purchase another table and chair set, or I would switch to rugs, and I opted to switch to rugs. So we took the table and chairs out of the area for work, and we rolled up 2 rugs. So anytime my child wanted to work, either one of my children wanted to work on their materials, they would get a rug out, and that would be their work mat. So they were working on this mat, and this really, really helps when you have multiple children in a home. It's a visual boundary for your child, showing them that this is their space, and when they're working on that material, they probably don't want to share, they don't want to be interrupted, and they want their space, right? So this is really helpful when you have siblings who want to do other children's work, right? So this is a really good thing to have. Either the table and chairs or the rug. Again, you can get table and chairs for very cheap or very expensive, and the same with rugs. So it's really these 3 items that can really set you up for Montessori success in your home, that can last for a very long, 3 years or longer, right? My 5-year-old still uses her work rug. They both still use the mirror, right? And we have shelves. So those all have stayed with us for 5.5 years now. So these are these staples in Montessori that you can have that are really going to grow with your child. And what you fill those shelves with, and how else you set up this work area is going to be different for every family. But if you are at those beginning stages and you are just setting up your area for work and your area for your child to thrive in with Montessori, this is exactly what we do inside of our Montessori Home Challenge. And this challenge is just going to be starting on September 13th. It's for 4 days, and we go through really, really breaking down how you can start Montessori at home. So these are just 3 items that I would suggest. And I do talk about these in the challenge, but this challenge is really more about changing your home, making small changes that have these huge transformations for your child. Because as soon as you kind of start doing some of these things that I suggest in the Montessori Home Challenge, you're going to be seeing some big differences in your child's behavior and their emotional regulation and their concentration. All of these things, as soon as you start making these changes, they all start adding up, right? So I'm excited, so excited to be doing this challenge again. We haven't done one since earlier this year, so I'm so happy to be bringing it back to you. We have hundreds already signed up for it, so make sure you guys get signed up. I'm going to go ahead and add the link into the comments now for anyone who's interested in joining us. Let me just type that out. And you are more than welcome to sign up. Share the link with your friends and family. Like we have Judy here, who's a grandparent. If you guys know, you've got friends and family that want to join, I would love for you to share that link with them and invite them to explore including Montessori in their home as well. Ashley is saying that Amazon has a few different self-adhesive options. I just typed into the search bar child safe mirrors. Yes, we used those like little acrylic tiles because they can just stick to the wall. So that was really good for us. In Australia, I wasn't able to find any really good acrylic child safe mirrors. But I think you have a lot more options if you're in the US. My daughter is 2, and we have been slowly doing the Montessori styles. She struggles with putting her toys away. Yes, and this is very common. You see these things on Pinterest or Instagram or here in Facebook groups, and you see children, putting their toys away or concentrating on a toy for 30 minutes or something, and you're like, how the heck does that happen? These are the changes that I'm talking about. When we go into this challenge, we make these little small changes that add up to these big developments, like putting their toys away on their own. It doesn't happen overnight, right? And it won't happen just by you suggesting that it happens either. We need to make these changes in our environment, not just in the way we talk to our children, right? So it all works together. And I would love for you to join us inside of the challenge to kind of see if you can make that happen. Okay, Ashley, suggestions on helping my 17-month-old bring his material to his table, then putting it away, just model and repetition. So yeah, at 17 months, this is a huge part of it, right? Model, 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 because they're in that stage where that's what they're doing. They're absorbing, right? Marie Montessori calls it the absorbent mind, and they're just absorbing everything around them. So if you're not doing that, then they're not going to be able to absorb that. That's how they're learning, right? And it is so true, and I'm not even kidding, but when you start doing these practices of modeling the behavior you want to see, modeling, as well as changing your environment, all of that starts stacking up. And one day your child will just return the material and you'll be like, oh my gosh, all my hard work is paying off, right? This is exactly how you're going to feel. I think everyone in the Montessori Learning Center has probably felt that one way or another. So yes, I definitely think you're on the right track there, Ashley. So just stay with that. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention, because I did say about the full scholarship to the Montessori Learning Center. This is a huge, huge win when you participate in this 4 Days to a Montessori Home Challenge. When you participate and do the homework for each day, our action steps are really simple, guys. I'm not asking you to go out and buy anything. I'm not asking you to do anything crazy. But when you participate fully in the Facebook group, in the pop-up group, inside of the challenge, do the homework, you get entered to win this full-time scholarship. And this is a $377 value. So it is huge, guys. So I would love for you to join us. The link is in the comments. If you have any questions, if you're here on the replay and you have questions, pop them in. I'm going to be watching this video for the next week or so, and I'm going to be answering any questions that come through. So thank you guys so much for joining live. I'm glad to see a couple MLC members here joining me, as well as a couple of new faces. And I look forward to seeing you guys inside of the challenge. Bye-bye.